Today I've got 5 tools which I regret buying, either because they don't work very well or I thought I would use them and I don't. Hello and welcome back to my channel, and today I want to talk about my 5 regrets when it comes to buying tools. And the first one is this clamp. This is the tool here that sparked my list of bad tools. I get so frustrated because they never work. You see, when I bought it, I was being a bit cheap. You could get 4 of them for £100, which is about $120. And I just can't bring myself to throw them away. I keep thinking I can fix them or repair them, but I've tried once before and I've had no success. And the problem with these is, I'll show you on a smaller clamp, is they're meant to kind of dig in. So when they're in position and you tighten them up, they tend to dig into these little ridges or ribs, and then you can start to tighten them and they kind of wedge themselves in. When you tighten these ones up, it just tends to slip. They just turn and turn and turn. You can just keep on turning and turning and turning, and I can see him, he's just slipping. He's slipping backwards. Now, I don't want to diss the company that makes them. I've been on their website this week and I see they've got black versions of these now, so maybe they've improved them. And they've got 52 reviews on these, and they've all got 5 stars. Now, I'm a big fan of reviews. I always read the bad reviews about something to get an honest review. But I mean, there wasn't one bad review. Somebody would have had to put a bad review if they were that crap. And I'm almost tempted to buy another 4, but after these ones, I'm not planning on it. So number 2, the second thing I regret buying, and it's not this little cutie. No, it's cheap Makita batteries. This is for my 18 volt LXT system. These cheap batteries, you can find them on Amazon, eBay. I have done something about this before, but I thought I'd reiterate what a waste of money they are. I must have bought about 5 or 6 of these, and I've got 1 left. They don't even last a year or 2. This one seems to be going all right, touch wood. I always think that if I had just bought 1 or 2 decent Makita batteries for what I paid for 5 or 6 of these, I'd be a lot happier. It just makes sense sometimes to spend more money. I do buy a lot of stuff from China, probably because I'm cheap. I do find that some tools are overpriced, some things are overpriced, but definitely all the batteries I bought from China, whether it be these or torches, just batteries in general, they don't seem to last. The technology is obviously not up to scratch. Not only do they not last very long once they're charged, this is meant to be 6 amp hours, they just go all loony. You'll put them in your charger one day and it'll just say there's an error and it won't charge it. So, Festool. And the third thing I regret buying was this Festool combination. Now, I did get caught up in this idea that I had to own a Festool, some form of Festool. I don't know why. I make shelves, I've got a shop on Etsy's, and I make this one particular shelf that has a 45-degree angle on it, and I thought it would be quite cool to have this sander that kind of sands along that 45 degree. I never use it, like I said, and you've got to always unscrew these bolts to put it on to do a little bit of sanding at those angles and then take it off again. It does 45-degree angles, it does 90-degree angles, and it also does a 60-degree angle and a 75-degree angle, and I'm pretty sure you can do any angle, but those are preset. After I've cut my 45-degree angle, I can feel when I'm on it, and I think the more you do it, the better you get at it, and it's just a lot quicker. I have seen reviews on them, people love them. For me, it just wasn't a game changer. So number 4 is this bench dog system, and basically it's like a guide which you attach to your plunge saw rail. So I got these extra long ones and I was hoping to cut up sheet material with them. Complete impulse buy, fiddly, time consuming, getting them on your rail, setting them up just to break up maybe a couple of pieces. I can't remember how these things work. Oh, I know what the problem is. Yeah. So the problem with this is I've got a little dent there, so you won't move. Let's set it 50. And obviously you just put your track saw on it and you run that through your 500. I'm actually going to measure that, see what that looks like. I'm just going to have a quick look. That first one is perfect. He's right on 500. I think that would be quite an accurate system. Once you set it up properly, it'll work out nicely. And the fifth one's a funny one actually, because I bought this angle finder. No matter how much I tighten it up, it just seems to move around all the time. I can't seem to get this thing to clamp up nice enough, but to be honest with you, I never use it. I'm sure angle finders they have their place in woodwork, but I did find a use for it, and that was for my blast gates. As the dust builds up in the corners, they tend to get stuck. They don't open completely, and the only thing I could think of was to use my angle finder to get inside there and to scoop out the dust from time to time. So yeah, that would clear that out quite nicely. It works pretty well. And actually, you know what? I just realized something. I regret buying these blast gates. If it wasn't for this angle finder, I don't know how I'd get the dust out of these blast gates. So I can get that point into the corners and I can pull that dust out, which gets compressed, and it seems to be the only thing that works. I suppose if you don't have the blast gates, you might regret, and you had one of these, you might not use it, but if you had this particular brand of blast gate, you might need something to scoop it out with, and if you had that, well, there you go. These tools might work perfectly fine for somebody, apart from them bloody clamps. They're just rubbish. A couple of those things I might just stick on eBay and get rid of them, or I might hang on to them and have if I can think of some way to do a raffle, or not a raffle, but like maybe a raffle for charity, or when I reach some sort of milestone, I'll celebrate by giving some tools away. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.